Hello and greetings from New Braunfels, Texas. Special shout out to Max and Jake. Today I'm going to show you the homemade swimming tether that I'm using in our new Intex pool that we put up in the last few weeks. I made a recent video about doing underwater or apnea training in the Intex as it was surprisingly long enough to do some decent training. Well, it's not really long enough to do laps. There's just way too many turns. So apnea is one thing, but actually doing laps is really out of the question. So the swim tether is something that I used 20 years ago in a home that we had an in-ground pool at the time. And interestingly, this is a rappelling harness which I utilized with the tether at that time. So this thing still, I was actually going to use it for this, but I found something that is probably a little bit easier to put on, etc. But with the climbing harness, you just put it around your waist and then just made a loop back in the back of it and hooked into it. Well, I'm not using that now. Well, the whole idea here is I've got an anchor line, this is 550 cord, and I've got it tied off to a tree near the pool. We'll assume like this PVC pipe is the tree, and then it runs over, and it's at a relatively high angle so that you're not scraping the edges of the pool, and you're having some room to do your kick at the same time, especially with the monofin, being that the kick is more in the center. With the scissor kick, it's not a big deal because your feet are on either side of the cord, so you're not going to really have any interference there. With that in mind, the first attempt was using the bungee, and the bungee worked well. Hook into a loop, tie a figure-8 loop in the anchor line, then just hook the bungee into it, and then hook to the swimmer, which I'm putting on this neoprene belt. It's a scuba weight belt, and this one has it sewn into it, a nice loop, so it's just a matter of that's hooked into the back of the belt, and you can do your freestyle with that really easily. It works like a charm. So now we're geared up. We've got the bungee to the anchor cord, to the anchor, and then we have to get it to the swimmer. What I found was, while the bungee worked well with the freestyle, the elasticity of it wasn't really consistent with doing the dolphin kick with monofin. When you weren't kicking, or when you tried to duck dive with it, it would throw the angle off. It would pull me back too far toward the edge of the pool when I didn't do a kick. So I looked at using resistance bands, and I happen to have a set of these resistance bands that have a carabiner at the end. And after some trial and error, I found that for the freestyle, the 50-pound band was perfect. Freestyle, I'm using fins called the fins, which are Hawaiian lifeguard fins, and web glove. And then I do use a mask and snorkel, as I'm not really doing competitive swimming. I'm doing more rescue type swimming. But the beaner just hooks right in. You actually, with the hook, you can just loop it right on there. And then the other end, same thing, you just hook it right in. And that provides ideal resistance, a little bit longer, but ideal resistance for the freestyle. When I use this with the dolphin kick, as you can see, the line gets thrown off, and it didn't work as efficiently. again, with these, it's a trial and error basis. They come, this particular set came with 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60 pound resistance bands. So again, this is 50. So I played around with it, figured I'd use one that had a little bit more stretch, and ideally what worked best was this purple one, which was rated as 20 pounds. So what I'm trying to tell you is that with the resistance bands, depending on what kind of swimming you're doing, it'll give you some wiggle room to do different weights with different flexes in the band to give you the ideal resistance for your particular type of swimming. And it's the same type of hookup. Now, again, for competitive swimmers and for people that are swimming on swim teams and are concerned about the leg position and sinking legs or body position, those are things that they will have to do some trial and error to see what works best for them. It's not something that concerns me with the type of swimming I do and the type of things that I'm training for. This is actually perfect. If you just want to swim and get some aerobics in, again, not as concerned about body position, but just utilizing your home pool for to try and get some exercise in, I think this might just be the trick for you. Any questions, please leave them in the comments below. So after multiple trial and error, I started with this bungee, the resistant bands. These ones have beaners on them at the end of it, and they actually work better than the bungee. This is a 50-pound one. This works well for the freestyle using the web gloves and the fins. And then for the monofin, that's a little bit too much resistance. So to dive underwater, it's easier to use, I believe I was using this one, the blue or the purple, which is a 20-pound resistance. The green is a 30-pound resistance. That was still a little bit much. The 20-pound for the monofin, and then being able to dive down wearing this vest here, which has 10 pounds in it, which is a little bit more than what I used previously, but this belt here is neoprene and it's quite buoyant, so that's going to be the system right there. Going to use the 50-pound attached to the line, and that'll be for freestyle with the web gloves and the fins, and then the 20-pound, and I might even try the 10-pound next time with the for just monofin, just kicking, and for the dolphin or for the duck dives, and to swim underwater for a few seconds with the monofin. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time. And I hope you learned something here with this. I hope it's something useful. You can try at home or at a friend's pool. It's something to use that smaller space and actually get a real good training with it. Have a great day.